going to the Birmingham Bowl, we get a good matchup here in the Birmingham Bowl. Georgia Tech versus Vanderbilt. I think this game is going to be awesome. I mean, think
Yeah,
about everything that you got here. I mean, you got two quarterbacks that play very similarly. You got two coaches that have far exceeded expectations for this season. You're playing in Birmingham, so regionally you're pretty close, but you're splitting the difference basically a little bit between these. Maybe I don't know, but
a couple
you got
highways.
teams that are metrically not similar, but kind of similar. I scrappy underdogs with good coaching staffs right now.
Yeah, listen, I,
I
I think this is awesome. I think this is the most intriguing matchup of this entire week. The best quarterback bowl matchup we have of this season. I think a healthy Haynes King, which you saw against Georgia, which you'll probably see here today in Birmingham, against a Diego Pavia, who's coming back for another season for Vanderbilt, who's also super dangerous, right? I think it is awesome. I was trying to figure out some spots here. Obviously, Georgia Tech has some guys in the portal that they're going to miss, right? Obviously, the headliner is Eric Singleton, right? But you got a line offensive tackle, right? Corey Robinson, although I know they like the young kid and Ethan McKinney. Tay Seymour is headed over to Auburn. I believe you also have your backup wide receiver as well in the portal. McCollum, not McCollum, Rutherford. I think he's also in the portal.
mm-hmm.
Trying to find that as well, but I still think you got some guys there. You got seniors, Chase Lane, Avery Boyd, guys that can come up in big spots here. You also have Jamal Haynes, Alexander, as well as Haynes King on the ground that can get after it. Vanderbilt's a defense that, yes, they've been pretty good against the run, and they've been overall improved, obviously, there. But against the pass, it has not been great. 101st against the pass there. And I think that's where you're seeing the Haynes King showing that right arm off, seeing guys like Lane and Boyd in big spots in their last potential bowl matchups. You also got some young wide receivers there. How about Isaiah Canyon, right? Bailey Stockton as well. How about the true freshman, or the freshman Luke Harpring, right at the tight end spot? A lot of interesting spots you could see there for this Georgia Tech offense. I'm going to slightly lean Georgia Tech. I don't know either way for sure. I think this is a really intriguing matchup. There's so many ways, so many angles you could kind of break it down from in terms of what's going to happen there. It worries me. It's not a best bet because of some of those opt-outs you're going to have, some of the
Mm.
transfer portal spots you do have that could be difference maker. Romello Height at the edge for Georgia Tech as well. Could be another guy you're also going to be missing on the defensive side of the ball that could help in trying to contain Pavia when he's kind of breaking down and running. But that's where I'm at right now. What about you?
Yeah, I'm with you, and it feels obvious, right? Like to just take Georgia Tech, right? Because you have that sort of recency bias in that game that they had against Georgia. That was an absolute barn burner, right?
In Miami, right in November. That was November as
Yep,
well.
Miami. It, they're not talented enough to just walk up and win this football game, though. They're not. And let's be real, missing those receivers is a big deal. Now, if they run the football like they know that they can, right? They got plenty of people to do that, right? Yeah, they can win this game and probably control the football game. They also got to be careful about the explosive plays that Vandy's going to have dialed up, right? Like, I, there is a lot of inexperience in that Georgia Tech secondary. You're going to have a situation where Diego Pavia and Vanderbilt are going to be unloading their bag and everything that they had left in this season in the playbook. So I think that's like you're looking at the Jimmys and Joes and X's and O's. I also think because of the spot that we're in right now, I think there's a chance that there are a lot of explosive plays that could be generated from both teams. And in a shootout, right, I don't think Georgia Tech wants to be a part of a shootout. I really don't think they want to do that. So I'll take Georgia Tech and I'll lay the 2.5. but I just wanted to play some devil's advocate there. And also, I mean, are we're seeing what, like, basically two players not playing for Vanderbilt in this game,
That's pretty telling.
albeit some important ones. I don't know. Is Eli Stowers going to play? Do we know that for sure?
I haven't heard for sure either way. I'm assuming he's going to play. I think the Ricky Wright's
I definitely know he's going to the draft. I don't know what role he'll have in this bowl game, but I do think that would be a pretty substantial loss if you did lose him.
Well,
But,
especially with that inexperience, the injuries there with the Georgia Tech secondary, you saw Georgia actually be able to move the football in that second half with some of those injuries. And now you're seeing some of the portal. You've got young guys there. I'm hoping Zachary Tobe will be back. I think he's got an interesting future there at the cornerback position. But again, we'll see how it goes. Yeah, that would be a huge one because you've got Sherrell, you've got Skinner as well, but he adds a different dimension over the middle of the field for Pavia. Big target, reliable guy, chemistry there from New Mexico State and that coaching staff as well. I'm glad you brought up that coaching staff and what they can do. This coaching matchup is also super intriguing, right? I think more at the coordinator level than anything, right? Buster Faulkner.
And I'll take Georgia Tech's coordinators, by the way, over Vanderbilt's.
Good. Now, it's Tim Beck / Jerry Kill and our guy Clark Lee actually, calling the defense there, but going against Buster Faulkner.
Yeah, which is a big change though, because Clark Lee was not calling plays last year.
Here's an interesting thing here too. Clark Lee has a ton on his plate, right? At least during the season, like you can kind of just throttle down and like we're gonna play football, right? And we're gonna come up with a game plan. Yeah, you got some other stuff you got to do here, but these last 2 weeks, I'm sure, have been crazy hectic for Clark Lee. Recruiting, transfer portal, retention, fundraising, all these other things that are going on, as well as trying to game plan and prep for a very, very good and well thought out schemed offense. That's another spot here too, where it's like, yeah, maybe Vanderbilt is bought in for sure, but the way that their staff is structured out, maybe it could hurt them in a spot where you've got limited time, to be putting together a game plan, implementing it, and making sure you're not missing any holes here, because that Georgia Tech team, they see a crease, they will take advantage of it. They are very, very explosive, even without Singleton and Rutherford.
100%.